Welcome back, people of the internet. My name's DargonEvo. Today we're unboxing the Mechagodzilla 2 and Rodan box set, plus the Garuda that's included, of course. There's a lot to dig into with this set, so without further ado, let's get right into it. This is the Makuhari Decisive battle version. I probably slaughtered that name. But this is a re-release of these two figures, which the Mechagodzilla 2, he has quite a bit different head construction. He actually doesn't need any special parts to transform. And this Fire Rodan has much better paint than the original release, along with some translucent accents. Really bring out the figure, especially under some UV light. And that's upside down. Plop him over here on our turntable. We can get a glorious look at this box art. This has to be one of my favorite of the newer SHMonsterarts boxes. I'm gonna break the illusion for y'all so I can properly showcase everything included. Pulling this out, we have that brand new SHMonsterarts smell. If you know, you know. In the box we have some instructions showcasing all of his different possibilities, including his sliding neck gimmick, the way that his tail transforms, his extra hands, and how to put him properly in his flying pose. You can see how his head comes apart to switch out his eyes. Pretty nice it's included. The original release, you had to buy the Rodan, which came with Godzilla's burning beam and a damaged eye for Mechagodzilla 2, which was pretty weird. It's kind of what they're doing with the new Scar King and the Beast Glove for Kong. We can see that you just pull them apart to open up his belly button beam, and then swapping the instructions around, we can see how you go about equipping all of these accessories. Kind of a tedious process, but once you have it all done, it's pretty nice, especially since we have stands included for Rodan in Mechagodzilla 2. But getting this out of the way, we can see all that's included. There's quite a bit in here. I'm holding this at arm's reach. You immediately get to see the shimmer on this Mechagodzilla 2 and the Garuda, which is nice that the silver and white is painted separate, along with all that beautiful detail on Fire Rodan. You flip it around, we have this thing tucked away. Underneath we have his wire extensions. We'll show off all of his accessories a little more in detail in the full review. We're flipping him back around, we're gonna pull off the seal on this lovely set and plop this out of the way. First, we'll pull out Fire Rodan. You can get a good look at all that lovely detail, which mine has a little bit of a bend to the end of the beak. It's not horrible. You could probably fix the beak if yours is a little bent with some heat, but mine doesn't look too bad. You just gotta be careful when pulling that down. We can get a good look at that translucent plastic on all the spines and horns on him. I'm pretty sure Rodan is a boy. The plastic on the legs are actually pretty thin. You can't see it in the video, but light almost shines through them quite a bit, giving a burning-like appearance. The only thing I wish this figure could have came with in the set was the beam effect that was included with the original release, which would make more sense with the Fire Rodan variant. But so far, I'm very pleased with this figure. So next in the set, I'm going to pull out the Garuda. We can get a close-up look at that. This actually slides forward, allowing you to get the flight form out of it. These would fold down for when you attach it to Mechagodzilla to form Super Mechagodzilla. And then we have some nice translucent red within those verniers. The quality control on these seem to be really good. I haven't seen any noticeable flaws, which we'll figure that out as we get more into Mechagodzilla 2. There's even some nice clear sections on the end of those rail beam cannons, or whatever you would call those. I've been watching too much Gundam. And then of course, last but not least, we're gonna pull out Mechagodzilla 2. This guy is shiny. Oh my. As y'all can see that he has die-cast metal legs, which is very nice. I didn't realize about that with all the mecha figures that Tamshii Nations makes, at least in the Godzilla line, that they're pretty hefty. The die-cast metal adds a lot of weight, which adds a lot of stability, so you don't have to worry about this guy falling off your shelf, which you can already see I'm fingerprinting him, which does kind of show the quality and the shimmer of his paint. We have quite a bit of articulation on him. You'll get pretty much anything you want. But once again, we'll go into more depth about that in the full video. And then quickly showcasing his transforming neck gimmick, we can see that it pulls forward, which will allow you to get a little bit of that giggity action. We even have some nice molding in the inside of his mouth, which will look really nice with that custom beam effect. So I believe only the original release came with. So they actually released 3 different versions of the S.H.Monsterarts Mechagodzilla 2. There was the original 2011 release, which you had to buy the Garuda separate, that came with these lovely beam effects. Then they had a re-release in 2017 of the same figure slightly redone. I personally like the red of the original, but with the 2017 figure, he actually came comboed with the Garuda, though you still had to buy Rodan separate. And then over on the 2024 release, which is the one we're checking out today, we have this glorious silver finish that really stands out between the 3, and it has this very nice complementary orange for the eyes. It's a shame they didn't include the Mega Buster beam effect for his mouth, but a buddy of mine over across the interwebs did me the service of sending me one, along with a special effect for the plasma grenade that he shoots out of his belly button, or as I like to call it, the belly button beam. They never made an actual plasma grenade beam effect, but for anyone looking to get some custom effects for this fellow, I'll post a link down in the description. The only thing I need to try now is see if I can get him to make some replica beams from the original Garuda release. I don't think that'd be difficult to do at all. Now you might have noticed it by now, but Rodan is quite a bit smaller than Mechagodzilla 2. Mechagodzilla is standing at a little over 7 inches as far as I can tell. So that makes Rodan just barely at 4, maybe 4.5 inches. So he's going to get dwarfed by pretty much all of your SH.Monsterarts figures, which really caught me off guard. I didn't expect him to be as small as he is, but with the amount of detail he packed into him, my only complaint is that he might be slightly fragile, which I don't remember him being this small, but I guess I'm just going to have to go rewatch the 93 movie. We can see that we have this attachment part which works with the Garuda, so you can attach the Garuda obviously to the back of Mechagodzilla 2. We have the damaged eye, which goes to Mechagodzilla 2, that Rodan punctures in the film. This is really similar to how the eyes swap out on Kiryu, which it's a little bit of a process. I'll show that off in the full review. Just be careful not to lose this. And then here we have that belly button beam that will swap out with his core section, which I'll pop a photo from the film on screen to give y'all context of what this is. Then we have 2 extra hands. You can get him in some very dynamic poses with these. And then on top of that, you have these interchangeable parts for the Garuda, which with the attachment part, these just add stability, but it's nice that they're included at all. We have some very welcome included Tamshii Nation stands, which I'm unsure if these are the same ones as the Apt Humanoid stage by Tamshii Nations, which we need to actually get around to reviewing these. But this, along with this attachment for Rodan, will allow you to make him look like he's soaring through the air. And then he's sliding all this stuff out, and then this is how you will hold Rodan up with his wings, and then you just be careful not to break this. It's pretty flexible, but I wouldn't chance it. And voila, just like that, you can throw Rodan up on a stand, which to be honest, it's a little bit of overkill, but I see that they were trying to ensure that he wouldn't fall off the stand while on your display, especially with how fragile some of his joints feel. And then for the Garuda, it just plugs into a 3mm hole in the bottom. These stands are pretty damn tight, so you can just kind of throw that up in the air without a hitch. Overall, the quality control in these figures seems immaculate, and this is some of the best I've seen from Tamshii Nations. This is definitely up there with their 1972 Godzilla. And then here's a quick look at what Mechagodzilla 2 looks like when he's transformed into Super Mechagodzilla with that Garuda on his back. I'm never gonna stop thinking that the word Garuda is not fun to say. Now, talking a little bit about price, the MSRP for this figure on Amazon is $225, which for all that you get in the set is pretty worthwhile. I myself was able to get lucky and find a great deal in the aftermarket for $175, because I've seen scalpers charge $100 for Rodan himself, and I see Mechagodzilla 2 and the Garuda go for $170 in its respective price. But screw the scalpers, that is some bullshit. People are just out here trying to collect Godzilla figures, man. I'm definitely looking forward to the full review where I'll break these guys down even further, go through their articulation, their paint, and their flaws, and all that good stuff. So y'all stay tuned for that. Let me know what you think of these guys down in the comments. I know I'm a little late for this, but I definitely want to hear y'all's first impressions. I'm personally very pleased with these guys. I think that these are a excellent choice for anyone's collection, especially if you're a big fan of the Heisei era like myself. But I appreciate y'all watching. My name is DargonEvo, and as always, have an amazing day.